Celebrations and backslapping continues as Nigerians home and abroad commemorate 63rd independence anniversary with funfair. Analysts look at the strides recorded by the nation in 63 years of autonomy. Plus, we'll bring you update on security and other sectors. It's a bumper package. Welcome to Panorama, reaching you live on NTA. I'm Ruth, Aguele. The federal government and the leadership of trade unions met on Sunday to deliberate on how to address the dispute arising from the removal of subsidy on petrol. Following the provisional agreement between the two parties, it was agreed that the federal government would implement 35,000 naira as provisional wage award for all treasury-paid federal government workers for 6 months, following further consultation with President Bola Tinubu. Also, the federal government would fast-track provision of compressed natural gas buses to ease public transportation difficulties associated with the removal of subsidy, among other agreements. The president of the NLC, Joe Aguele, also spoke on behalf of Labour.
A lot of issues were addressed, issues that concern the Nigerian worker, the average Nigerian worker. Pertinent issues, I can't begin to reel them out here, but I am happy to say that after 4 hours, we have reached certain agreements that inure to the benefit of the Nigerian worker. Agreements on wage bill, agreements on committees, on salary increment, agreements on the CN buses, agreement on several other things, I believe. Both TUC, Labour and government side. We will, hopefully, we expect that Labour will call a meeting of their various branches and executive tomorrow to present the agreements that have been reached. And we pray and we believe and we hope that the strike will be called off on Tuesday.
We have looked at almost all the issues, all the promissory notes, from the government, and we looked at how to translate them to reality, and to be workable. And then we're going to take those promises to our organs. Of course, these people here cannot just wake up and review and call off action. So, like he said, we're hopeful that our organs will have a look at them and give us a fresh mandate on what next to do.
Minister of Information and Culture, Mohammed Idris, in a statement after the meeting said all the parties agree that implementation of the agreement will be more effective when workers are at work. As Nigeria celebrates 63rd independence anniversary, One Nation for Ashiwaju support group has expressed confidence that the Tinubu presidency has the capacity to leave a better Nigeria than it met it. The group, under its Director General Mohammed Dagachi, says recent policies and programs rolled out by the government demonstrates strong will to surpass previous records. The group also commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's pronouncement of the provisional increment in some workers' salary and appealed for a more elaborate package that will guarantee financial security during and after service.
Achieve the real essence of the process to ensure proper order and procedure, a democratic process and governance. The judiciary and the security personnel must be well taken care of.
Give 100% plus one support to the development of this government and ensure that the good thing that is coming out from this government is seen to happen in a no distance time. There is an ambition, there is a good concept and the strategies that is already embedded in the present government.
The Director General also urged the President and party leadership to accommodate all interests in the smooth running of the administration, strengthen economic reform policies, and sustain war against corporate corruption. In the last 2 days, Nigerians have commemorated the 63rd independence anniversary and we're still basking in that euphoria. An autonomy fought by the nation's founding fathers. Since 1960, the nation has had its ups and downs, but the people have remained undaunted and united as a resolve to stay together. We have in the studio to speak more on the nation's trajectory since independence and its prospect for the future. Mr. Kish Adamu, he's a legal practitioner and former Attorney General and Minister of Justice in Kaduna State. Thank you very much for joining us on the news.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
I could still say happy independence, right?
Right, yeah. Happy independence. It's been an interesting journey.
Okay, so it's 63 years of our independence anniversary, and a lot has been said. We've seen the present economic realities and, of course, the challenges bedeviling the country. But from your perception, 63 years, how have we fared?
I would say, comme ci, comme ça. It's been a mixed bag. We've had our highs, we've had our lows. We have done well as a nation in the sense that we are still together. We have had very big and huge challenges that would destroy other nations. We've fought a civil war. We've had several coups and counter-coups. We've had civilian rule. And the latest spell is the one we've had since 1999 till date, straight for over 20 years, the longest spell we've had. So it's been a mixed bag. Our economy has tottered. We've been like a child that is still struggling to realize its full potentials. And it's metaphorical to say a child when we're 63 years old.
Okay, and looking at the present administration's policy direction, it has its 8-point agenda. Nigerians are optimistic, depending on where you want to put a divide. Nigerians want to see a better nation where equity, justice, and fairness thrives. How do you respond to that?
Well, you got it, in your last statement, where equity and justice thrives. And that essentially is one of the biggest challenges we've faced as a nation. Would we say we've experienced justice? Would you say we've experienced equity? And it depends on what side you're eating from. The answers you get will be divergent. But truly, truly, for Nigeria to achieve its potentials, to be the kind of nation that it ought to be, there must be equity, there must be justice, there must be fairness. Equity to all, justice to all, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of religion, irrespective of gender. Each person, each component part must feel carried along. And we have a beautiful provision in our Constitution that speaks about respecting our diversity. And to that extent, if those provisions are respected, then we can have equity, we can have justice. I'm not sure we can answer that question in the affirmative and say we've had equity and justice for all. A lot of the agitations we've had the crisis in the Niger Delta, we've had some of the insecurity challenges, even the herdsmen and the bandits who are ravaging the Northwest. When you get the chance to listen to them, they even make a cry for justice. So across board, there's a huge cry for justice and equity. The Southeast feel that they've not really been forgiven for the civil war. I was listening to the president of the Ohanese Indibo yesterday, and he still raised those concerns.
Okay.
So largely, those issues are still there.
All right, on Independence Day, the president gave a broadcast to renew the hope of Nigerians. And you can't have a nation that is an island. A nation cannot thrive successfully when we want prosperity without also the citizens playing their role. What is expected of citizens?
We should obey the law. Nigeria is a nation that is a constitutional democracy. We have laws that guide our conduct. So for citizens, the first thing is to see the country in a positive light, and then to play our roles as citizens by obeying the law, by being decent in our conduct, by being honest in the way we carry out our affairs. When the citizenship does not play its role well, then there will be problems. Simple things like traffic violations, the market woman who uses a false measure to sell her goods, the petrol attendant who adjusts the pump, and all of that. These are all roles that citizens need to play. When we have a citizenship that plays its civil duties very well, obeys the law, and acts in accordance with law and order, then pressure would be on those in authority to do the right thing.
All right, and also be patriotic citizens, of course. Thank you very much, Mr. Kish Adamu. He's a legal practitioner and former Attorney General and Minister of Justice in Kaduna State. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure.
All right, let's take this break. We're back in a moment.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Welcome back. Still in the spirit of Independence Anniversary celebration, Nigerians in the United Kingdom have also expressed their joy in the resilience and abiding spirit of the Nigerian character.
Talking about the 63rd Independence Anniversary of Nigeria, we interacted with a couple of Nigerians a few hours ago, and here are some of the aspirations and dream of Nigeria they shared with us. Take a listen.
Happy Independence to Nigeria at 63. I want to use this opportunity to ask our leaders to lead us in fairness, in justice, and in equity. I want to also ask our leaders to provide jobs for every Nigerian to have a good quality of life.
I wish for Nigeria to have good infrastructural developments. And I also wish for Nigeria to make sure we have diverse, inclusive society. And also, we should also have environmental sustainability. In Nigeria at 63, we should have economic prosperity, a thriving economy that all Nigerian citizens will be able to survive and have so many things going on with them.
Happy birthday, Nigeria. My wish for Nigeria is that love and light would be restored to Nigeria. Selflessness, peace restored to Nigeria. To the government, I would say that it's not about you, it is about the people. That you would do what would make the people remember you for good, and so that you can have peace.
I wish Nigerian peace, Nigerian progress, Nigerian success, and I want to enable my able President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let us be patient with him. Let us believe in his dreams. Renew hope is reality. So let's follow his roadmap. I believe he's going to take us to the promised land.
In spite of our challenges, the consensus of Nigerians here in the UK is that we can and we shall forge ahead as one indivisible country in fulfillment of the aspiration of our founding fathers to build a nation where justice, love, peace and unity shall reign. Again, in the words of our national anthem, arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call, obey.
Thank you, Wale. Indeed, let's keep hope alive. In meeting its mandate of eliminating corruption from the face of the country, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is receiving a boost from forensic and fraud investigators in winning the war. Certified members of the statutory body were presented with an instrument to confront the common enemy. This was at the EFCC Academy in Karo, and were told to ensure they adhere strictly to practicing regulation for progress in the collective efforts to stamp out the menace.
That a number of you, after today, will be aspiring to practice forensics and as fraud investigators. And to do that, you need to now get your practicing license.
Some members say corruption has robbed the country of its place and of pride, and promise to join forces with regulatory bodies like ICPC to expose and deal with corrupt practices in the country.
It's nothing but to fight it, irrespective of how it is in the society. We must make concerted effort to rid it, because if you don't fight it, it fights back.
It's a hindrance to the growth of this nation, and it's important that we all take immediate steps to nip corruption from this country.
The forensic and fraud investigators are optimistic that strengthening existing framework with strong political will greatly assist to reduce the tendency of corruption in Nigeria, and promise to serve as whistleblowers to ensure that those who feast on the nation's scarce resources are exposed. Airstrikes by the Nigerian Air Force have destroyed terrorist structures and strategic logistics bases in Tumbun Fulani and Tumbun Shitu on the fringes of Lake Chad in Borno State. An AF statement indicates that the terrorist enclaves were struck between 27th and 30th September 2023, when activities of terrorists in the locations were confirmed to have constituted a threat to military formations and law-abiding Nigerians. At Tumbun Fulani, terrorists were observed loading jerrycans and 2 gun trucks concealed under shrubs. NAF aircraft were then dispatched to the location, believed to be a more logistics base. After the strike, battle damage assessment revealed several terrorists were neutralized and the gun trucks destroyed. Similar strikes were also undertaken at Tumbun Shitu. Still on security, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, has expressed commitment towards improving the welfare of personnel and investments for effective service delivery. He made the pronouncement during the 2023 Annual Command House Stakeholders Conference organized by the Department of Special Services and Programs at the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja.
The Nigerian Army remains firmly focused on its constitutional roles, especially that of defending the territorial integrity of our nation with other services and agencies of government within a joint operational environment.
I acknowledge the unrelenting and invaluable support of the special guest of honor, our Chief of Army Staff, to the department's activities and programs.
On assumption of command, the Army Chief pledges attention to rehabilitation and improvement of infrastructure in various barracks, offices and institutions to provide conducive living and working environment for officers and soldiers. The Nigerian Army Resource Center, a research-based institution, has reiterated its commitment to live up to expectations of developing the knowledge of personnel of the armed forces and critical stakeholders for value-based leadership skills. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this played out at the Work Ethics and Organization Performance course for personnel of the National Youth Service Corps, in line with its mandate of contributing to the accelerated growth of the national economy, develop common ties among Nigerian youths, and promote national unity and integration. The course took the participants through critical thinking, team building and elements of adaptive leadership in a fast-evolving and dynamic world.
Team building and critical thinking in the organization, this time around, the National Youth Service Corps. We run a similar program, and they believe their staff will benefit more if they want to run a similar program specifically meant for them, and that's why we've run the program.
Participants describe the course as timely, as it has expanded the horizon towards capacity building of Nigerian youths.
I have been exposed to so many strategies on how to handle my own schedule and also how to work with my colleague to achieve maximum results.
How to manage the corps member at a particular time, because we are field officer, we deal with a lot of human beings, we deal with them from different angles. So coming here, I've gained a lot of experience.
The 5 days training program drew participants from the National Youth Service Corps across the country. Talking sports in Nigeria, we've heard it's been more of a roller coaster ride since independence, with many highs and lows recorded. It's a general consensus that the country's potential in sports hasn't been properly developed to bring the commensurate success. Our sports correspondent, Aguele, in this report takes a look at Nigerians' sports over the years and how the abundance of talents in the country can be harnessed for international glory.
Nigeria, since independence, has recorded remarkable success in many sports, especially in boxing, football and athletics. These achievements saw the country become a household name in sports in no time, especially in Africa. Recently, the country has seen our sports stars put up record-breaking performances in athletics, football, wrestling, basketball, combat sports, and some other sports. Despite recent successes recorded in sports, there have also been so many lows.
You'll be deceived into thinking that Nigeria has done very well, because in actual fact, the nation has done very well within the African continent. And we need to celebrate and commend that. When you take it to the global level, however, you begin to see gaps. Because when you compare with Kenya, Ethiopia, Algeria, and a few other countries, Nigeria is nowhere to be seen.
Our sport in the last couple of decades has actually been on a slippery slope. And the reason this is so is because so far we've not been able to create systems to sustain the talents we've got, or to create a better platform for the talents that we've got. I think Nigeria has been heavily reliant on natural talent.
Right now, we are just living on past glory, where people refer to us as giant of Africa, but there's nothing to show about it. When you look at the level of our leagues, when you look at the level of competition we have in other sports, there's nothing to really write home about it.
There is no denying the fact that there is an abundance of sports talents in the country, but harnessing it has been a major issue.
There has to be a conscientious plan on the part of government to invest in grassroots development of the game, to invest in grassroots programs, and also talking about infrastructural development.
The way forward, of course, is tied to the problem, lack of system, building systems to absorb our talent.
There is the need for organizations, agencies, individuals to come to play and get involved and develop the talent to help our country to achieve her potentials.
While the impact of the National Youth Games and Sports Festival cannot be overemphasized, sports enthusiasts call for more deliberate policies as Nigeria aims to be a powerhouse in sports. In Abuja, Adeleye, NTA News.
We're now done with sports. Suleiman Musa brings us more on Sports Update.
We begin with golf. Philip Joe has emerged overall winner in the golf amateur category.